a really, fresh and new audience for you. Tell us a little bit about, your genesis, if you can share with the tribe. Who, and this is for, because I'm sure there's some tribe out there of our, people that have not, who may not be from, know who you are or be familiar with your work. If you can share with us, tell us a little bit about, in a nutshell, who you are, how did you get here? And when I say get here, I'm talking about this life, this plane, and essentially, what is your mission? So if you can share that with us, brother, that'd be awesome.
Well, I'm from, I was born in Chicago, and I grew up between Chicago, Grand Rapids, Michigan, and Pontiac, Michigan. In the process of this, I went, we traveled a lot when I was little growing up all across the land. So I always knew that ancestrally I wasn't African, right? But I couldn't understand why they kept talking about Africans came over on these slave ships. So while I'm looking at everything I see across the land, I'm examining what the issues is with the people of the land, and we was walking around like zombies, right? So I couldn't understand. We would the only time we came alive is on Friday and Saturday night, right? So I knew something had to be wrong where everybody miserable all that time, right? So I grow up looking at the civil rights struggle, studying Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Medgar Evers, Emmett Till, looking at all of this stuff, right? And I go all the way back to the Liberia movement, back to Africa, the Prince Hall schools. I'm looking at all of this that's going on, and I'm seeing the consistent pattern. As I get older, you know what I'm saying, I don't know how to put it together until I start doing the studying. I end up catching a case when I was a teenager, and I ended up doing a little over 16 years in prison. And I turned my prison time into monastery and university time. So when I came home, I'm seeing the political dynamics play out and how they using brown faces to influence people to support what's not in their best interest. So specifically speaking about, I'm watching the Obama situation unfold, and I know that when he get in office, he ain't gonna do shit for us, right? But you can't say too much until after the fact, because when you start saying something beforehand, it looked like you're trying to tear your own people down. But we got to realize everybody look like us ain't us. We didn't realize that was the biggest part of the problem, is that the white man ain't even white. He a Moor, a free white person in law, a political status given by royal nobilities of Europe. So that don't got nothing to do with us. They laws have nothing to do with us. They corpus juris secundums. They ipso juris sui. None of that shit don't got nothing to do with us. That's all barristers' bookkeeping document. That's why everybody that's a practicing attorney has to be a barrister, a member of the bar, right? So my observations, when the chief discovered a matter on the land that affects the other people across the land, he's obligated by the laws of nature to put it out in the public domain and to offer a solution. When the people don't know what to do, it's the responsibility of the chief to step up, take charge, and effectuate the change. So that's what I'm doing. My task right now is to inform the grassroots that the change is imminent. And I got to inform and campaign to the grassroots until we see that change manifest. So this is the mission that I'm on, an educational mission to give out free knowledge of the circumstances and conditions and the remedies to the problem.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that. That's really, really awesome. And like I said, for taking the time to really look at the problem. That's been the challenge for many of us because everybody just when people they get caught up in their lives, they don't realize what's going on around us. And the whole thing about these people that like you said, that look like us but ain't us. One of the things that they have had are people in this state of with all the with the media that they control. They've been pushing all of the this the disinformation out there. Between that, to keep us, the whole idea was to keep the people in this vortex of confusion. And then on top of that, with the whole, plantations, they call, workforce, is the whole idea is to have people like some little mouse, on, one of those little conveyor wheels, I guess, where, running on that, that little conveyor wheel where you can't get off,
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's been really the program, where our people are finding, their greatest challenge of getting off of that wheel,
Look,
not them running around.
they turned Big Mama house into the big house.
Yep.
They turned her farm into a plantation. Big Mama's job was to feed her children. So when we spread out across the land, we came to help her plant in the fall of the year, the spring of the year, and harvest in the fall. When the invaders came, they came as conquistadors. They first landed with Columbus. Columbus' navigator was Pietro del Negro, or Peter the Black, or Peter the Nigger. And
Right.
he was a blackamoor and the navigator is more important than the captain is to the ship. Because without the navigator, the captain don't know where to go. The navigator is the one actually giving ship orders to the captain in order to get to the destination he's trying to reach. And remember, they came before Columbus. They look like us, but they ain't us.
So, if I can interject right there, that was a great segue, Brother Rod, to exactly what I want to show you and the tribe here. I recall you had mentioned this on one of the other platforms that you were doing a lecture on. I believe it may have been with the elder, and a few months ago, and it was really really interesting because I got to share this when you were talking about it, and you had mentioned the whole that they sent over Columbus as the investigator. Yeah, Christopher. Well, they refer to him as Christopher Columbus, but then they say his name is Cristobal Colon, whatever. But here's the thing that's really funny, and I got to show this to you. Because right there, when I was watching that particular video, when you were talking about all this, I got to show you this. I was watching. Oh, and so when you mentioned, yes, they sent over Columbus as he was the investigator. I kind of laughed because right around, I think like a couple weeks prior, I was watching some back episodes. Oh, and then you mentioned Columbo, and you said, and that's why they have that TV series Columbo, because Columbo is the investigator. And I kind of laughed when you said that because I was like, oh man, that is the real. Because when I was watching a few weeks prior to that video, I was watching back episodes rather of Columbus or Columbo rather, and it was so funny because there was this one episode, and I got to show you this. Family, you cannot make this up. Give me 1 second. I got to show you this. Let me bring this up. And yeah, so that is the channel, just so you know. Just give me 1 second. I'm just trying to find it. And I know I saved it. Give me 1 second. Trying to remember what I saved it as. I know I have it. Might be saved as projects. No, it should be here. Live notes. No. I think I called it Chief Rod. Now, why is it not coming up now? Hold on. So it's really funny, too. Okay, wait a minute. I know how to find it. Give me a second here. And I actually pulled it up last week. Recent projects. Here we go. Got it. I forgot what I called it. Here it comes. Okay. All right, I'm gonna hold on. Okay, so let me share my screen, and I'm gonna show you this. Let me know when you see it. Share screen. Can you see my screen yet? Can you see that?
It didn't come up yet.
Okay, give me a sec. I just hit it. Give me 1 second. Let me try it again. Give me a minute. Present. Video. I might have to do. Shouldn't have to do slides. Hold on. All right, wait a minute. Yeah. Okay, hold on. Okay, here we go. Select window screen. Oh, come on, give me 1 second. Hold on. This is kind of like, can you see it yet? Hold on.
No, it's not up.
Window, mute, website, spaceship type. Okay, hold on. This might be. All right, let's go on. Allow. Can you see it now?
It's coming up now. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, sorry, I'm just, messing with this new technology. So this is the episode from Columbus. This is season 3. If anyone wants to go back and play this, if you have, I don't know if you've got Roku or Amazon, whatever, but I believe this is season 3, and I want to say episode 5, and the episode is called Identity Crisis. And in this scene, and you can't really, as much as family, I'd like to share with you, Tribe, the actual, soundbite and play it. You really can't play the clip because you know how it is on YouTube. So what I can do is, that's why I just gave you this is the actual closed caption of the, the dialogue, in the scene. So Columbo, he walks into this guy's house, over here, and when he walks into his house, he notices, this is his suspect naturally. So he notices on the left side of his home, there's a painting, and he's like, and I got to I'm going to do the Columbo voice. He says, is that an original painting, site? And the guy goes, yes. As you see here, he says, yes, that was done in Austria in 1761. All right. So then. That's the first part. Then he goes, give me a second. I gotta go get the other one, the other clip. Then to him, can you see this? This next one?
It's not there yet. It's still black. Screen's still black.
All right, hold on. I gotta show it to you. It's black. All right, no worries. Hold on. I gotta stop and show you the next one. I think you have to just share it bit by bit. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Let me do it again. Okay, here we go. All right. Oh, wow. Okay, here it comes. You see it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you do see it where what he says here?
Well, we can't. It's too small. We can't read it.
Really? Because I
Yeah,
actually,
it's not
I
blowed
mean,
up like the other
can
one
you see
was.
the scene? Can you see the scene?
Yeah, he's standing in front of the sofa with the pink pillows on it.
Really? Hold on. It's interesting. Let me see something. Because I actually have it as wide as. Okay, you're seeing the small one. Okay, give me a second here. It might be a 10-second delay. Hold on. Let me just do this. Give me 1 second.
So on the left side, you got three pictures. There's two at the top, one on the
I
bottom.
see it. Yeah, I actually see it. So let me shouldn't be doing that. Hold on. Hold on. Give me a second. Because I'm showing you don't see the other one right yet. Okay. So hold on. Let me do this. Maybe if I close this one and then go in again. Screen on this. Hold on. It's this one. Can you see it now? Did I make it bigger? Or is it still?
Nothing moved.
Okay, hold on. Let me stop sharing and I gotta do it again. You gotta see this. Okay. Hit preview. Let me try this. Well, let me see if this works. All right, and it's still doing. So now, do you see? Is it bigger now?
There you go. The discovery of
Okay.
America.
Okay. So yes. So then he says to him. So he says he told me it was in Austria, 1761, and then he says to him the name of the painting because he asked him, "Oh, what's the name? What's it called?" And he said, "The Discovery of America." All right. Now watch this. Okay, hold on. Let me launch it first. You can actually see it. Hold on. Launch it. All right, give me 1 second. So this way you can actually see it. All right, I think I figured this out. This screen here, business. Okay. Can you see it?
It haven't came up yet.
Okay, give me a minute. You haven't seen it yet?
It still ain't came up.
Okay, give it a minute. All right, hold on. Let me look. Actually, look on YouTube to see what you're seeing. Okay, hold on. Let me share it. One. Okay, I think I gotta stop sharing the other one. Stop sharing it. All right, let me try it again. Give me 1 second. Okay, so it's not. Oh wow, this is fascinating. So no, it's fascinating because the first ones worked, but all of a sudden, man, it's like it's not sharing, and I'm not sharing another. Like, what's funny is like I had stopped screen sharing, so it should work. Because okay, so what it actually shows, so why I'm still trying to bring this up, what actually he sees is the painting. And I just wanted to show you what the painting looked like, but it's not allowing me to share. I mean, I can't make this up. It is not allowing me. Let me see something for a minute. No, it's not going to. Okay. It will not allow me to share it because I keep hitting share screen and it's, yeah, it won't let me share it. I mean, I'm trying to share. I can't, you know what? It's hilarious. Like it was allowing me to share. So, but realistically, it's not letting me share it now. But what I think is so funny is that I suspect they could be messing with the technology because all of a sudden it was working perfectly and now it's no longer working. So, but we're going to keep it moving. So essentially, And again, family, if you want to go watch this, you can see it on Amazon. It's season 5, episode 3 of Columbo. You know, back episode. It's called Identity Crisis, the name of that episode. But he actually shows you that painting, and the painting that the suspect says is called The Discovery of America. And The Discovery of America, what you're going to see in that painting is you're going to see those people. Well, let's put it this way, what they refer to as the copper colored people. And it's in this man's home, and it's this painting that takes up an entire wall. And so then Columbo asks him in that particular episode, he says to him, well, he says, is that all of it? Meaning, was that the entire painting? Because it takes up the entire wall of the man's home, that one side of his wall. And he goes, nearly. So in other words, that was just part of it. You know, it was this giant matte painting. And so probably the rest of that painting is probably either somewhere in a museum or in someone's, private collection. And you know whose private collection it's in. So, it's just, but you can't, the reason why I wanted to share that was so important, but you get the gist of it, is that when you said Columbo, he sent over Christopher Columbus as the investigator, and then that's what that series Columbo was about. We never figured, because we thought it was just a TV show about a detective. But when you see that scene, family, tribe, you get it, that no, there's a lot more going on. And see, this is what they've been doing, for decades, is that they've been telling the story, but they've been doing it, through, the cinema. They've been doing it through their TV shows, and so many various, they use so many various methods, because there's rules in this mess. But that's how they've been doing it. And no one's going to be able to be paying attention to a detective show. But, I'm one of these people. I'm all about the details. And
so watch the knocks off Columbo. Okay. So Columbo is the investigator. He's Christopher Columbus. Right. Mm-hmm. Columbo Colon was his name.
Yep.
Okay, so the guy that plays the part of Christopher Columbus, his name is Peter Falk, right? Peter is father in Greek. Father is in reference as Peter to the rock on which this house was built, right? So now it's telling you what's the keystone, the rock. Peter. Falk means falcon. The falcon is a chief. So it's telling the chief that this is the keystone in which the structure was built. We're talking about the U.S. government. Mm-hmm. All right. Now, Peter Falk means falcon. They put out a movie called The Maltese Falcon. Remember that?
Yep.
Old black and white. In the Maltese Falcon, they was trying to get the Falcon because the Falcon had a secret code in it, right? Mm-hmm. And the Maltese Falcon is also one of the first movies that the CIA put codes in. Right? So now that takes us to the CIA off of the Falcon flip. So the CIA is in the wind talking about Central Intelligence. That's the intelligence at the center, right? Mm-hmm. So the Central Intelligence, they got a motto: real bad boys move in silence, right? Mm-hmm. And Puffy said, bad boys come out and play. And he was mimicking the movie The Warriors, where they shot Osiris in the movie The Warriors, and mm-hmm. the guy that shot him blamed the gang called the Warriors for it, but the Warriors didn't do the shooting. Misdirection. Mm-hmm. Right? So when the people was chasing the Warriors, they sang a song saying Warriors come out and play. Because they was calling the gang the Warriors out to fight. So the Warriors came out to fight. Right? Mm-hmm. Now, Puffy on the song, I think it's with GINDJAB, at the beginning of the song, he's tapping the Coke bottles together saying, Bad boys, come out and play. Just like
Mm-hmm.
in the movie, right? So what he's telling me is, just like in the movie, they tried to pin the murder on somebody that didn't do the murder,
Mm-hmm.
right? Which takes me back to the messages I got from Tupac, who did the murder. There wasn't a murder, it was an extraction. But Tupac
Mm-hmm.
said about the shooting at Quad Studios is, during all my riding, I never thought that somebody that looked like me would be the one to shoot me.
Mm.
So now he's describing the people, right?
Right.
And he said in the song, they say it's the white man I should fear, but it's my own kind doing all the killing here. I can't lie, ain't no love for the other side, right?
Right.
So the message is coming from the chain connection between the items that sends the message through the subconscious mind to be put together like a puzzle.
Mm.
That's called wind talking. Now, the Maltese Falcon was followed up by a spy movie called The Falcon and the Rainbow.
Yes, I remember that one.
Some 30-something years later.
Yep, I
Right?
recall.
And it was another movie about the CIA and the secret agents. And right around that time, not too long after, there was another movie called Serpent in the Rainbow.
I recall that as well.
In Serpent in the Rainbow, the guy had to go find out how the Haitians was putting people turning people into zombies. So he went down to Haiti, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when he came back with a white powder that they was able to use to get derivatives from pufferfish to make a motherfucking anesthetic to knock you out during surgery, right?
Yes, I do recall that. Mm-hmm.
Okay, now we following the serpent, because this went from a falcon in the rainbow to a serpent in the rainbow. Yep.
Mm.
So the serpent in the rainbow taking and you know what, Diane, there's certain stuff I'm restricted from doing. You asked about the YouTube channel. I have a YouTube channel. As a matter of fact, I'm going to put my YouTube channel in here. If you look this up on YouTube, but I only got like 4 videos on there because I haven't really been doing YouTube yet, because I've been trying to give these people the opportunity to come and do what they're supposed to do. And they got me sitting on standby. I ain't got no problem with being on standby. I've been on standby my whole life. I'm just tired of hearing these motherfuckers talking about they conscious and they aware and they know what's going on, but they can't fix the goddamn problem. I'm telling these motherfuckers, if they get off their goddamn hands and do their part, this shit is easy. All you got to do is take 3 steps and use your power. The whole world gonna stop. It's already written. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Diane, it's right there. Morpheus Megas at YouTube. Yeah. Right now, I'm trying to get off all social media. I'm trying to get into a more practical reality of putting these sisters together. So first they got to meet, right? There's a group of sisters that I communicate with on social media that are very powerful sisters across the country in different locations.
And they all got a role to play in the rebuild structure. And in the structure for the rebuild, when they all do their part, it worked like, it's like putting the dream team together. Every one of them loving, beautiful, kind-hearted women that want to see this shit stop. That's sincere, and they doing their part. You know, like Portia helped me do my research, and if I need her to look something up, she's my personal research assistant. And Aisha, she in California, but she has to run the Department of Education or the Rites of Passage program, because we're going to get out of the Western concept of 4 walls, trap your mind, slow your child's brain down education, and we're going to get back into the God mind training, where we try to speed the brain up to grasp information faster. You're teaching them with the wrong structure. So a baby is born with no knowledge. And when we start teaching them, you're supposed to teach them building blocks, colors, shapes, alphabet. But when they get into really learning, then the next thing after the alphabet, you teach them phonics. And after the phonics, they got that now, then you teach them speed reading. And once they can use the phonics to speed read, then you give them the biggest dictionary, the most comprehensive dictionary of the English language that you can if you're in England or America or English-speaking country. Whatever country you're in, it's the same principles apply. Once they learn speed reading, you give them the dictionary, the most exhaustive dictionary in that language, and you run them through that for about a year. Read the entire book over and over for about a year. Don't try to memorize it, just read it. And while you're doing is you're giving them all of the meaning of the words in detail. The better they can understand the meaning of the word, the less effective the spell is on their psychology. The faster they can assimilate the information, the faster that they can see the deception in real time. That's why they don't like speed reading, critical thinking, and practical problem solving classes in inner city educational facilities, because those things takes the brakes off. If you ever notice, you got average children that go to average class. Then you have those who they say is below average. They send them to what they call a special educational program. And then you got what they call accelerated into college prep and classes for the gifted. Well, there's a German model. It's called Realschulen, Volksschulen, and Academia. Real schooling, or Realschulen, is the homonym for the English real schooling. Volksschulen, which most children go to, is a homonym of the English equivalent of false schooling. And academia is where you send your upper echelon minds for what they call it, it's called academia flat out, but it's a 3-tier educational system. It's to separate the brightest children, extract them from the masses, those whose brains they can't slow down, and fit into the realm of what you call normal, average, mediocre, in the middle, C child. Your A, B, C, D, E, or your 1 through 5 grading methods are bullshit. All that is a measuring tool for money. It don't have nothing to do with what your child learned. It don't have anything to do with whether your child learned or not. I was a functional illiterate with a 3.75 GPA. I was a functional illiterate. And I got kicked out in the 10th grade as a functional illiterate. How the fuck that I can't read and I can maintain a 3.75 is beyond fucking me. I had to teach myself how to read correctly. I had to learn the dictionary. I had to raise myself from idiot to genius on my fucking own. I mean, it wasn't no easy job, and I did have a lot of help. But the fact of the matter is, I had to find my own determination to not accept the bullshit. I had to find my own drive to overcome the oppressor. Yeah, Don, I got a couple of sisters down in ATL. Hey, Portia, ain't no topic. We freestyling today, sweetie. If you got any questions, just throw that shit out there. If it's stick, I'm going to answer it. Hey, look, I done been all over this country, right? And I done seen all kind of females from all walks of life. And believe it or not, I was shocked to find the most loyal females grow up in gang culture. That blew my wig back because it's so outside. Yeah. It kind of like took me for a loop because I never expected the women that know how to work together in a group, know how to function in a household with a male leader. But remember, the women are actually running the show, but they know how to keep that man in power. And they know how to work together in raising the children. Now, these supposed to be the derelicts, the worst. This is gang-banging females. And out of all of the gang-banging females, the ones that I've seen do the most remarkable hold you down ass shit been Bloods and Crip females. I haven't seen it nowhere else in the country on that level. They so out cold, they come up in your crib and reorganize the house like that in the clique. They bringing what you need. If they think you worthy, they bringing everything you fucking need right there. Okay, let's get this party. Like if I was in LA right now, I couldn't sit at home like this. If I was in California, there's no way them sisters in California would know that I know the shit that I know and leave me sitting in a goddamn house. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. It can't happen. It's not possible. They psychology, they makeup, and their character is totally different on the West Coast and any other part of the country. They all ready to ride. I got in my saved videos. I'm probably going to post it up as a comment in this video. See if I can get it from another place. They already know what the call is, right? I'm going to prove it to you. West Coast sisters already know what they're supposed to be doing. They already know. I'm going to show you. I got to go to my saved videos. I'm going to post this video in the comments. I wish I could post this mug and up on the side of the screen with me and where y'all could see it. You know, in the black community, we used to dread prison worse than anything else. Prison used to be the worst thing you can threaten us with. And then we start marching for civil rights, right? Once we start marching for civil rights, stuff started to change because we didn't fear prison no more. We didn't fear getting locked up or jailed. Fuck that shit. And you know what we do? See, black people are natural alchemists, whether they accept it or not, or whether they know it or not. And I'm going to show you what I mean by that. Black people are natural alchemists in the respect that all of the bad shit that get dumped on us, we convert that shit into something good. Every goddamn time. Look, they gave us a name, niggas. And it was the most vile thing in the history of the world anybody could be called. And we turned that shit into a term of endearment. My niggas. We turned that shit into some good shit. We love being niggas now. Nigga ain't nothing like being a nigga. Everybody want to be niggas now. But there was one point where if you called a person a nigga, you gonna get your whole motherfucking back broke. The whole clique gonna rain down on your motherfucking ass with the wrath of rod. I'm not bullshitting. Now, this is alchemy. We took what you intended to hurt us with, we turned that shit into a term of endearment. You know, we turned that into a whole way of life wrapped around a negative thing that we turned or attempted to turn in our community into something positive. So now, while everybody thinking that they hurting us by calling us nigga, it ain't nothing new. We was trying to figure out how to make that flip anyway. Ever since, all you got to do if you want to know how long we've been trying to get over the sting of the pain of being called a nigga is read Richard Wright, Black Boy, I think it's called, and he got a part in there where he's talking about how the brothers be hanging on the corner when ain't nobody else around. they try to when ain't nobody else around, they call each other niggas to try to see who was the toughest and who could take it. Call me a nigga, I can take that shit. Master don't run shit here. So now I'm gonna try to post this video of these sisters in California, and I don't know if y'all gonna understand what y'all about to see. Certain stuff, but I'm about to show it to y'all. Okay, so now I just posted in there. I just posted in there the link. Now, right here, I'm going to pin this comment. Right? Okay, so now the comment that's pinned is the video showing them sisters in California know that they supposed to be going to the water. They know they supposed to be wearing the white dresses. It's actually the dress 19 from the Nation of Islam, by the way, by Tanetta Muhammad. It's the correct garb for the upcoming ceremonies, because it was designed specifically for the women in the upcoming liberation campaign of flipping the grid, and it had to be free flowing so that we can infuse parts of ballet and classical dance that would accentuate the flow of the gown to give it the appearance of like when a group of women together and they make certain movement, it'll look like a white cloud on the ground moving from a distance. So that was the purpose of that outfit being created by Tanetta Muhammad. And notice she called it the dress 19. 1 and 9, beginning and ending, Alpha and Omega. It would have meant the same if she'd called it the dress 10, beginning and end, Alpha and Omega. 9 being the fullness of the birth, 9 months in the initiation or first entry being at the Alpha or the number 1. You bring the Alpha to the Omega, you bring the beginning to the end. And this is the whole trick. We got to take the best shit that we used to have, the best shit we got now, and throw away all of the garbage. And so what I have to do is I have to find a big enough facility for my teachers to bring their families, entire families in, or these teachers are going to be women. Some of them going to be married. Some of them are not going to be married. But they're going to all have different jobs, but we have to be able to have the room to facilitate everybody in order to make this happen. Yeah, man, look, that video, if y'all get to watch it, that I got pinned on here, that video show you all these sisters, they have this drive. They don't know what it is. They know it's there. They feel it. You can look and you see they all confused. They don't know what they supposed to be doing, right? But they know they supposed to be doing something at that water. Well, they made 2 mistakes. From the standpoint of what they're doing, the first mistake is they're supposed to be in fresh water. They call in the wrong mother at the salt water for the cleanup, because she don't play no, she's stern. She's more stern. But the right one, the correct mother or the correct goddess is from the fresh water. Now, once we start these training to flip the grid, there would be a series of women in various age groups from pre-puberty to senior citizen, post-menopause. The older women have to have the vigor of a young woman. And that's another video I got that'll show you what I'm talking about. So I'll be saving videos that can illustrate the correct formula so that you can see what I'm talking about. Now, the older women are like the guides. The whole thing is to tie the wisdom to and experience of the elders to the vigor and bravado of the youth. When you're 20, you'll do some shit at 20 that there's no way you're going to do when you're 50. Ain't no, you don't have the courage to try no shit like that when you 50. The same stuff you do when you 20, you're not gonna do when you 50. You learn so much stuff now, you already know that the consequences outweigh the benefits to such a degree that I'm not gonna even put myself in that path. And so when we build the structure, we actually supposed to be building a building. The building is supposed to be shaped like a big ass donut. And in the middle of the building, all of the children comes out, and you cover it up with plexiglass with air ventilation around the top so that the rain can drain to the outside as opposed to the inside. And then you can still have an open air in the middle. And then all of the children is supposed to go to in the morning, because some people are going to go out to jobs in the street, while some people stay in the community and work with children and work with the women. Now in there you got your education, your doula center, your rites of passage. All these things is taking place at the same time, but you also have the formation of the pyramid structure of your family, with the head of the household at the top, which is always a pair, and it trickles down according to the needs of the community. And this is the purpose of this pyramid symbol, is showing you structure. It's all it means: structure, organized, order, and structure. If it's disorganized, you can't have a pyramid, square, or a circle. It's gonna all fall apart. If it's not, it's chaos. And so if you want to take the order out of the chaos, this is the structure. Akshita, you already know this subconsciously, and you kind of like running from it, but you know what you're supposed to do, and you're gonna do what you're supposed to do because that's just who you are. And a lot of people are gonna be taken aback because you don't kiss their ass, but you can send them to me so I can cuss them out and tell them to kiss mine in your stead. Yeah. Anyway, so you already know. It's in your voice when you speak, and that's why I told you that the sisters need to hear you speak. The same with Eli. She good. She out of Chicago, and I post some of her videos too. And the fairy thug mother, that's my baby. She out cold with the knowledge. And it's a couple more sisters on there. I can't name them all right now but the information and the sharing with these type of women that creates the family structure. These type of women coming together is what generates the energy. See,